So obviously we live in a capitalist country where people are always trying to make the most money possible. But if it is an elective medical procedure and you are shopping around for the best price, like you would for
Socks.
a flight or hotel or socks or whatever, isn't medicine the one where you probably want to go with the higher price?
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing. I think it depends on what kind of procedure you're going to do, right? So like if someone's
I'm getting like, some big ass titties,
right?
I want more expensive titties.
Yeah, just don't get a Groupon.
Don't get a Groupon. Don't recruit my other dude friends. Hey, let's all go get our titties done this weekend.
Discount.
I don't want the under the breast line. I want the nipple removal, and I want to go in through there. That's what I want when I'm getting my titties done, and I would pay more for my titties.
You know way too much about breast augmentation, Maze. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. You've obviously looked into this before.
Excuse me, Emily? Is it possible to know too much? Did I perhaps once date someone who talked to me about breast augmentation for myself and said, you know what, you need to get those titties done? You know, it happens, okay?
It's possible. It's possible.
But I feel like a drastic price difference between two doctors doing the same medical procedure throws me off. I don't really know what to do about that.
Yeah, so I'm running into this right now because I have knee pain because I'm old. My knees are old, and apparently I have like shitty cartilage in one of my knees. And so like I went to this like highly recommended like sports orthopedic surgeon, and he was like, really the only thing you can do is this thing called PRP, which is like enriched platelet injections where they like take your own blood. Yeah, and they soup it up and they give it back to you. So essentially like the main ingredients are like your own blood. But in any case, this man quoted me for $1,300 for one shot. And I was like, okay, I guess this is what I have to pay to live pain-free going up and down stairs. And then I heard from somebody else, they were like, well, my friend got it for $500 and it was the greatest thing they ever did. So then me being in the industry I'm in, I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to go search around and see like what the deal is. And what I have found out is that $1,300 is way higher than most other practitioners would charge for it. Okay. And I'm not talking like rinky dink, sketchy Groupon type doctor kind of deals. I'm talking like University of Maryland Medical Center or other like hospitals. So moral of the story is, if you spend 20 hours shopping around for like your new backpack or like pair of headphones, you should do that for medical procedures as well. Because some of us are like,
do they itemize the costs and give you an estimate like you would if you went to get your car fixed?
Oh my gosh.
Are they telling you what you're spending the money on? Are you spending the money on the platelets? Are you spending your money on the centrifuge that they use to spin your blood with the platelets?
No, I don't think so. Because it's not covered under insurance, they can do whatever the fuck they want, basically. So
Wild West.
It's insane, right? Because I know multiple people who have gotten it done, and it's ranged anywhere from $400 to $700 per shot. It's just this one. I mean, I think that, when you're like a celebrity doctor, like the guy that Zach has gone to and stuff like that, and maybe you're the only one within like a 10 or 20 mile radius, they're like, oh, well, we got a lockdown on this. We'll just, charge whatever we want. But I'm very excited to see if it works for me so I can like go upstairs without being like, ow, shit. Maybe I should take the elevator.
Emily's going to get the Kobe surgery.
Yeah.
Or not surgery, the Kobe process, the
injection.
Knee PRP.
Oh, I've wondered about that. I've wondered about that.
Yeah, man.
You should do that and write a story, Zach.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Is that, does
Like
that
shop
count as
around
yoga?
for the
about a
best
medical
price.
procedure. You know, oh fuck, man! I actually just got dizzy from all the subscriptions that story just brought in. It was such a whirlwind.
You were in the centrifuge. All of a sudden,
this was a fun. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.
Good to see you, Mo.
I'll see you guys. I'm out.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye, Mo.
Bye. Okay,
Read about a medical procedure.
Wait,
Well,
Mo,
I mean, it's gonna
did
be a
you
long
finally
summer,
get your
Zach.
haircut from the guy?
I did finally get my haircut, and now I have to schedule 2 more. I'm scheduling them in advance, and I'm just so terrified he's going to cancel them or screw it up right before wedding stuff.
It looks like you did something different. What did you do different? You did something different.
Actually, I haven't. And no, I actually didn't do anything different. It's just grown a little bit since I got the haircut. It was probably a couple weeks ago.
It looks good, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All the more reason not to shower, Zach.
Look good, smell bad. I'll let you guys know how it goes. It'll be interesting. I just want to hike up Mount Fuji without pain. So
what's
that's
the
goal.
recovery time?
He said 2 to 3 weeks, but you can
that's not bad.
You can walk around and shit. You just can't do heavy.
You can't really exercise.
Yeah, exactly. So he told me I could still do yoga, but I don't think he realizes that I do the kind of yoga that is kind of stressful. So I'll have to go to old people yoga or something.
What, just an ex is yelling at you about how you gaslit them while you're doing yoga? Is that the stressful part of it, or?
How'd you know?
Is that what hot yoga is?
Yeah.
I've never been, so I'm trying to figure that out.
It's only your hot exes that get in and
just your hot exes there. Yeah, there's a whole process of weeding them out. Yeah.
I actually did do hot yoga after I came back from EDC. I almost passed out.
I've only done
there was yoga. There's no moisture left in your body. So
it's a dried out husk.
I've never done regular yoga because it doesn't I'm not saying it's not a workout. Obviously it is, but I need to really sweat when I work out. Otherwise I just feel like I wasted my time. And so hot yoga, I was I really felt it when I was done, but I don't know that I would feel the same with just regular yoga.
I've fallen asleep in regular yoga classes.
I would just be such a puddle. It'd be like a river of just if I did hot yoga. I can only do regular yoga. I just sweat too much anyways in general. So it's if I did hot yoga, it's fuck, man. Everybody around me is going to look around going what the fuck?
No, man, that's you and everybody else. But
no, there's a different level. Middle Eastern, Libyan, Arab, this is a sweat thing we do. It is certainly possible. I have sweat sitting down before.
It's really interesting because Koreans seem to think that they don't sweat as much as other races and they don't need deodorant. So maybe there is a. What was that look for?
Do Koreans also not smell?
That's what they seem to think. So I mean, I would agree.
Do they not have noses? Are they plugged or something?
Well, it could be the garlic and the kimchi has desensitized certain scents. I would say,
that's just in your blood, 24/7 garlic and kimchi, then everybody smells the same. It's the great equalizer.
Exactly. I do think that the BO is less, but the food smell is more. So maybe it offsets. But I will say if. I brought my partner to hot yoga. He was not the biggest fan, not because he doesn't like the yoga, but he didn't like the other people in the yoga studio farting. There's a lot of farting that happens in yoga.
Have I told you the story of the first time I did yoga?
No.
I didn't know this was a thing. I was in San Antonio. I didn't know whatever. I'm stupid. So it's no shocking that I didn't know that when you do yoga, you're going to end up farting.
I didn't know that either.
I did. It was in San Antonio. We had a line of 10 people. It was 8 girls, this dude, and then me on the edge, right? And it's you're moving around doing all that stuff, and we're doing one thing, and one just rips out, comes flying out, no control, and it's loud, it echoes or whatever. Everybody looks down the line, and it's me, I know, but I look right back at the guy next to me damn.
Yeah, you have to.
And the look of And this is like 8 girls, like, you know, I don't know if that dude was, I was saying, like, you know, it was like a moment of just survival. I looked at him like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
And the look of when he realized what I had just done.
He can't deny it because then he's supplied it.
Right. I just put it right on him. And the look of just like, yeah, like the him freaking out. And I was just like, oh God, thank God.
That's on him for not reacting quick enough.
That's the quickest I ever thought in that moment. And I'm just like, nope, not me.
That's amazing. If it was a woman, would you have done the same thing?
Of course he would have.
Damn, girl.
Of course he would have. Absolutely he would have. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
To be honest, I probably wouldn't have thought to do it to a girl, but because it was a dude, I was like, It was rough. And then I never went back to that yoga class.
Because everybody thought you farted in it.
I had a minor incident with a woman this morning. I mean, like, I'll admit, I'm cranky. I'm tired. I worked from 8:45 yesterday morning until about 11:30 at night. I woke up just not in a great mood. But I'm taking Boogie out. I live across from a school, and every once in a while, Boogie will want to go poop over there. And so I take him out. He wants to go across the street, so I walk him over there. I have a bright green poop bag, like, on my hand, not holding it. Like, it is, I have put my hand inside it to pick up, turn it inside out, right? Throw it away. Bright green. Boogie, I'm standing next to Boogie. He's taking a shit. And this woman from like 20 feet away goes, I hope you're going to pick that up. And I just, like, if you could see, like maybe I'm not looking like I have a fucking bright green poop bag on my hand. And I just said, I just held up my hand. I said, does this look like a fucking mitten to you? Mind your fucking business. It just came out. Like, it just snapped. Like, I had just woken up. Like, I know I'm not in a good mood, but that just like came out immediately. And she like, oh, and like walked off. But maybe I overreacted, but also, the fuck are you looking at? That drives me crazy. It's so unnecessary. And it's so obvious I'm about to pick that up. If I knew what her car was, I would have put it on her car.
Okay, that might have been extreme, but
just the bag itself. Not the poop.
I get it. I got it. Still a bit extreme in that level, but I am. What pisses me off more than anything is when they don't even give you the chance to do it. It's not like you were walking away.
It's
literally
not like he's shitting.
Right
like,
there.
you want me to catch it out of him? Like, he's shitting, and I have the bag.
It's so annoying because, like, I've had people kind of look at me like that. I'm like, I'm picking it up.
Yeah.
You know, like, or something. Or I had a lady like once in my dad's neighborhood, like, while he's pooping, going like, don't leave that there. And it's the same thing. It's just like, I'm not walking away.
Right.
I am trying to deal with the dog and pick up his shit. But it's like the people, like, they don't even give you a chance to do it. Yeah. It annoys the fuck out of me. So, you know, I'm with you on, she deserved you to snap at her.
I agree. Because also there could have been someone even grumpier than you that she could have said that to, and then she would have been even worse off. So
Zach just agreed with him.
Yeah,
Zach just agreed with Bo agreeing with him.
Yes,
I agree that Bo agreed with what I did.
Good teammate.
Yeah. Just a bunch of good teammates.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
If there's a good joke in there, you're not going to be a good teammate.
I mean, people that are pieces of shit and leave their dogs pieces of shit on the street is something that doesn't make sense to me at all anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're deputizing yourself as I am the sheriff of Poopingham and I'm going to call people out anytime I see a dog shitting just in case they're not going to do it. It's weird. It's just a weird like nosiness. I don't know. I get it because in general people suck. And so you might assume the worst is going to happen, but
for sure,
if you're going to take it upon yourself to like try to fix it, what are you doing? This is not the way. There's better things you could be doing with your time.
Yeah. I will say there has been one situation in which I had to leave the poop because the dog that I was watching, I had multiple poop bags, and this dog would not stop poop. So much poop, and then I wasn't able to like reopen some of the bags to get the poop, so I had to leave it there. And so I did feel very guilty about that for a very long time. But like one time out of probably hundreds,
as you should.
Yeah, that's on you.
And that guilt is what makes you a human being.
I do. I still feel bad about it.
When I lived in North Hollywood, I had an incident with an old man in a kind of a similar situation to what Emily just said, where I think I had just moved into that neighborhood. I just moved into that apartment building, like maybe that week or something like that. And for whatever, I was out of poop bags, like completely. I just forgot to buy more or whatever. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll walk Boogie to, there's like a PetSmart, down the street or whatever. Like I'll walk him there. I'll buy some, come back. And he's like, goes outside and he's pooping. And I'm like, well, I can't pick this up, but I'm literally going to get poop bags. Like I will be right back. I don't feel guilty about like leaving it, right? I was like, it'll be here 10 minutes at most. And this old guy like starts yelling at me. He's like, people like you, like fuck this neighborhood up and blah, blah, blah. And I just, I was like, I'm actually going to go buy them right now. I'll be back in a few minutes. Like I'm just out. I'm trying to explain it to him very calmly and nicely. And he's just yelling. This dude's like in his 70s or 80s or something like that. He's just yelling at me. And there's, I'll admit there is a breaking point when I'm trying to be nice and someone's being rude or yelling or aggressive that I might decide to show them a higher level of aggression.
Oh,
and so I started.
So unlike you.
He's like, you're the reason that you people are the reason this neighborhood, blah blah blah. And I said, old man, I'm gonna be living in this neighborhood a lot longer than you will. No. What? I said, you can stand right here. I said, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I said, I'll hand you the poop bag once it's filled. And then a couple of times I saw him, throughout the months. And then I didn't really see him again. I thought, oh shit, maybe he died. I don't know.
You killed him. You killed him.
But I was right.
I love that, but I was right. But the worst, I have a little like container that holds the poop bags.
Yeah.
And the worst is when I forget to refill it.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever. Cause I just out of rehab, you just take the dog for the walk. You go out there. And then it's like halfway through the walk when he's taking a shit, it's just like, oh.
I hate those little containers though on the like I don't know why, like
the little dog bone things that the hole
whatever it is.
I hate it. I'll never have one. I just take like Boogie almost never poops more than 3 times on a walk, right? Like it's usually 3 is the absolute max. And
2 normally, right? I remember that.
Yeah, 2 normally. Twice. Yeah, he's always going twice, but every once in a while he'll get a 3rd one out.
Would have been a nice warning though the first time I walked him for you, because I just grabbed 1 poop bag, thinking like, you
never had a dog before? Why would you grab just 1?
That time I didn't have a dog. Luca only poops once. It's not that hard, but it's just like I didn't know.
You're not feeding Luca whatever Zach's giving Boogie.
Purina Pro Plan.
Yeah, how dare you?
The other thing is like,
but I always just grab 3 bags and I tie them around the handle of the leash and that's it. Like,
does anybody remember what we did before poop bags were invented? Because they were not always there. Like, I think my dad used newspaper bags.
Yeah, probably. I think like probably just like some kind of like basic like produce plastic bag or something like that.
Something that's not compostable. That's never gonna biodegrade and has already ruined our planet.
Yeah,
or people left it more.
I think people just left it.
Yeah. I think it's probably a lot.
They maybe put a leaf over it.
That's just camouflage.
That's artistic.
That's just setting somebody up to step right into it, though. Like,
they put it all in brown paper bags and lit them on fire and put them on people's porches. That was the old way that we disposed of dog.
Oh God, that was the best.
Good times. Welcome to the Friday Mailbag. It's Friday, and it is May 31st, which means you have a little over a month and a half to get your tickets to the Count the Dings live show in New York City, July 20th, Racket, New York City, in the Chelsea district. Chelsea. And guess what? The whole gang's going to be there. We're going to do a bunch of shows. We're going to have a good time. We're working on merch. We're working on what type of weird cinephobe live thing we're going to do for the first time in years. So if you are a Patreon, patreon.com/countthedings, you can get in on the pre-sale, which is still going on. And if you are part of the pre-sale, you get 25% off your tickets. Either VIP or general admission.
No, we can't do that. That's too much off. We can't do that.
22% off.
Let's triple the price for Patreon subscribers.
Are you trying to sell Emily an overpriced PRP right now? You're saying
100%.
if you're a Patreon, you can get the PRP for $1,300. But if you're not a Patreon, $500.
Fine, because you said it, it'll be 25% off this time. But next time, can't guarantee that. I also make zero decisions.
Don't count on the price, but New York City, July 20th, Saturday. Rack it up. Come on out. Also, quickly off the top, I know this is really just for me and Mo. Katie's not here. Hacks finale last night. A+. Fucking awesome. Love this show. I think the hardest thing, it wasn't necessarily a surprising finale, but when you have a show where you have to keep people together and the show is dependent on your characters interacting, they found a very clever way to keep them together and make it interesting and set up the next season in a way that will be different and will be fun. So great show. It's all done now. It happened in a flash, 5 weeks. It's out, but Hacks, check it out on Max.
I only have one complaint, and there was one storyline that just got one scene, and then they just didn't talk about it again. And I was like, that I would have liked a little bit more there. I don't want to spoil it for people. So just
we talked about that a little bit before, Mo. This season was way more Ava and Deborah focused, and some of the side characters did get marginalized in a kind of a curious way. I mean, there was more Jimmy and Kayla this season.
Right.
But yes, Marcus and Damien and Josephina and everybody else that's great in this show, not as much to do this year, but still really good, still really fun, and it's a high recommend. And that's that. And now we're going to dive into a question. Going off of the hot yoga conversation, Paul Mooney's Wine Pouch wants to know, would you rather be 5 degrees too hot or 5 degrees too cold?
Hot.
Cold.
I think most women would say hot and most men would say cold.
Yep. I think that's probably right.
Women be cold.
Women be cold as shit because we got different like temperature regulations in our body.
But here's the...
You already feel like you're 5 degrees too cold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But here's the failure. This is just, and you know me, I'm an ally. But the failure...
No glasses can't prove it.
The failure in I don't know where they are. The failure in the logic of women when it comes to this question is that it is so much easier to warm up than cool off.
Not if you take clothes off.
Sure. Nope. Do that in public.
Sometimes you do.
Sure. But like realistically, forever, if it's rather be too hot than too cold, I get it that you're cold all the time, so you want to go the other way. But it is so much easier to bundle up in any scenario than it is to unbundle and be at a comfortable temperature. It's
just at a certain point, it's just too hot. It's just like, you just can't, I can't sleep when it's warm, like when it's really hot. And the problem for me, like when I was living with my dad, this dude would turn up the heat in the middle of the night to like 80 degrees.
What?
And like the winter, like he would just, he gets cold and
That's what blankets are for.
Dude, I've tried everything I possibly could. And then I would just, I would yell at him going like, it's a goddamn oven. What are you doing? And all of this. And it's just, I can't sleep when it's that warm. And it's impossible for me in that way. And it goes back again to what we were talking about. I start to sweat. And then I have no chance. I'm uncomfortable. Can't sleep. I'm with Zach. so much easier to put more layers on to warm up versus at a certain point you just can't cool off.
So now you're 5 degrees hotter at all times. How are you going to sleep?
You put your foot out from the covers.
I'm already on top of the covers, Emily. What are we talking about here?
Okay, so but here's my question. We're talking about like middle comfort level temperature, right? We're not talking about like extremes, like whether it's like 110 or 115 versus, 20 degrees or 15 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, yes. If it's like 65 or 70 degrees in a room all the time, I would rather be cold. But that's because I generate a shitload of heat naturally. I'm not juicing. This isn't hot yoga.
I'm pretty much a perfect temperature at all times.
Heat.
I'm pretty much a perfect temperature at all times. And so, we haven't cuddled that much, so I don't know how you have
What do you mean perfect?
Wait till you guys get on the train. Yeah. Wait till you're on the train.
I'm rarely like, oh my God, I'm emanating so much heat, or oh God, I'm cold. Like I'm almost always comfortable.
I'm not giving you credit for that. You live in Los Angeles.
Wherever I've been, like it doesn't.
You're in Minnesota. You're like, I'm perfect. Blah 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 blah.
No, because that's also the problem with cold weather cities is when it's freezing out, to try to draw people into their business, they crank up the heat. And then so you walk into a restaurant, you walk into a bar, and it's like 85 degrees in there. And it's like, wait, I just went from one extreme to the next. Because it's flawed logic with that as well. Like, it's like, no, make it a nice temperature inside. And when people come in there, they will quickly warm up to that good temperature. And now you're good. Rather than it's like, look, it's so cold out. It's 20 degrees outside. Well, we got 80 in here. So come feel this heat. It's dumb.
Come feel this 80.
I mean,
it's actually, and you have the opposite at Summer League.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In Vegas, it's like fridge.
They're pumping the air conditioner. Like, hold on, guys. Like, let's just make it 72. Like, that's all it's got to just make it 72.
It's so funny that I have to bring a jacket to the gym.
Yeah, in Vegas. Everyone always gives me shit like, why are you wearing a hoodie in Vegas? I'm like, because the gym's fucking cold. I'll go outside and take it off, but like, it's fucking cold in here.
It's kind of insane, but it's like it's the exact opposite of what you described. But
the next time I'm bringing a blanket with me, because then I can also sit on it and wrap it around myself.
Emily's gonna be sitting there in a snuggie.
Yeah.
Oh, God, remember those?
I have one still.
I tried to buy one for my dad and it wasn't big enough, and then he started to complain.
You could buy those stupid, I forget what they're called, but they're like the giant hoodies. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're like giant fuzzy hoodie things.
I like the sleeping bag jumpsuits. Have you seen these? It's where you can zip up a sleeping bag essentially to your whole body. That's a good thing.
Are sleeping bags still a thing? Is this just like not being a kid anymore, not camping, and not like sleepovers?
It's camping. I would imagine camping would still.
Yeah, but I just like I have not heard about a sleeping bag in probably 20 years.
Well, do you have
no one talks about them anymore.
I don't believe you.
I mean, this is literally the first time since I became.
Do you know anyone who's gone camping in 20 years?
No, all my friends are bougie idiots.
I don't believe you again. You don't know a single person who's gone camping.
Mom's not going camping.
Bougie idiot. I'm going camping. I'm getting a log cabin.
Yeah. All right. Airstreams only for Zach's friends. Airstreams and yurts.
Even if you go in a cabin, like one of those ones that you rent, like sleeping bag is still the way to go. You throw that shit on top of that. Yeah, but they don't give you like good linens for that unless you're going to like super, super fancy ones. Again, but otherwise they look like dorm beds.
Idiots.
Okay,
right, so never mind. Twisting this question a tiny bit.
I definitely haven't heard I haven't heard sleeping bag since I became an NBA writer. So that was 2007.
Well, I would say this. If you watched Wedding Crashers at any point, you heard sleeping bag.
Yeah, but that was like 2004? When was that?
Zach, maybe Zach just doesn't hear the word sleeping bag.
You haven't watched it since then?
What are we doing? What are we doing, Mo? Is this good conversation?
I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing.
I'm saying nobody's podcaster. No, I'm saying nobody talks about sleeping bags anymore.
I just said it.
Right, which then triggered, hey, no one really talks about sleeping bags anymore. So
you didn't go, what is that? If it had been 20 years since you heard what a sleeping bag is, you probably would have forgotten.
No, that's not how that works. Someone this morning texted me about the song You Know What's Up by Donnell Jones. I haven't heard that song in a long time, but I can go, now who's Donnell Jones? I don't remember this fella. No, I know it's him and fucking Left Eye. Like, I know the song.
Donnell
Jones, sleeping bags are Donnell Jones.
Big sleeping bag guy.
Yeah.
He's all about it.
No one talks about sleeping bags anymore. Nobody.
You described this situation, so I have to ask, would you rather be cold walking into a hot room or hot walking into a cold room?
Hot into a cold.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Best feeling. I agree with that actually.
Because the cold into air. Hot will give you the sensation of like, at a certain point, like the pins and needles, you know, kind of like when something's
fingers come back to life.
And I don't love that feeling.
Circulating again.
I don't love that feeling.
Like being hot and jumping into a cold pool of water is one of the best sensations.
But being cold and getting into a jacuzzi is pretty good too.
Yeah, I prefer to do that.
That can be pretty good.
The water situation is opposite for me. If it's like a room, I'd rather be hot walking into a colder room. If it's water, opposite for me.
I
don't like cold water.
I went skinny dipping in Lake Tahoe in like October once.
Oh, that's got to be cold.
That was not warm. That was not warm. That was a dare that I regretted doing
to this day.
Yeah, my testicles are still up there. I don't know what.
I haven't seen them since.
Yeah,
might have frozen and fall
off. My doctor said I still have them, but I don't believe him.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Okay, Squidward says, have you ever met your significant other's parents? If so, how far into the relationship did you meet them? In your opinion, was that early, normal, or later than expected? What is considered normal?
I'm meeting the first part of that question. At the wedding.
The first part of the question
just kidding.
It's not
just
true.
kidding.
It's not true.
Whoa!
The first part of that question is so stupid. Have you ever? What are you in high school? What do you mean? Have you ever met their parents?
Fair. No, this is fair because, like, culturally, like, specifically, like, I don't know, Asian Americans, a lot of Asian Americans do not introduce their significant other or their partner to their parents unless it's, like, very, very serious.
Who asked that?
Like,
did a white ask that?
Well, so me coming from a white family,
Squidward is definitely a white. Squidward is definitely a white.
Questions. We need your ethnicity, age, gender,
ASL.
Hit us with your ASL when you ask a question next time.
the form to ask a question now will have so many things.
It's true because okay, when you were young, they had to meet them sometimes because they had to come pick you up or like something like that. Or you live in the same neighborhood.
I mean, it is reasonable. You could be dating someone whose parents live far away. Like it happens.
Yeah.
But
and it's like, you have to be dating 6 months in order to take the trip home to meet the parents, or they have to come visit or whatever. There's lots of circumstances.
Have you ever met them? Have you ever met a significant other's parents?
You didn't say ever.
That's what you just said. Have you ever met significant?
Have you met your significant other's parents?
Rewind it. You said ever.
But like, so I'm actually with Emily on that in the sense of like, because also culturally for Arabs too, it's when it's like, yo, we're pretty close to like marriage. This is when you're gonna. Now it's different. Like I met Jamie's mom. She lives in Hawaii, so it's a little bit different in the travel and everything. I met her 6-7 months into our relationship, and she probably told her mom probably about four months in when it was real. I had one experience where I met my girlfriend's mom, like her whole family for Thanksgiving dinner at like 4 or 5 dates in.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was a bit like, and then the expectation was like, well, I'll meet your parents at some point. And I'm like, not till I know we're putting a ring on this. Huh?
Was that woman? The woman wasn't white. So, okay. My parents are obviously white. And so, well, actually, most people wouldn't know that unless they listened to it before, but I'm adopted. My parents are white. My rule with my parents was always, if I'm going out with someone, they have to meet that person first when I was like younger. So they met like every guy I went on a date with in high school.
That's a very
whatever.
white parent thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Again, my dad's sitting there like, cleaning his like buck knife, thinking that's going to intimidate people.
Nice.
But
that would have worked. That would have worked for me.
It would have worked. Yeah. A knife.
But
I like that.
But like, I think too soon is probably like less than, it depends on your age and what your intentions are. But if it's like the first date or even the first 10 dates, I think it's way too soon to be meeting someone's significant other, like parents or even siblings to some extent, I believe. But like what in our age range, I don't know about you guys, but like there's a lot of people dating people with children. That shit's crazy because I've seen people like introduce children to a guy they're dating on like the second date.
That's crazy.
That's way too soon.
Right?
Yeah. You got to be living together like 3 years before you get introduced to the children. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've heard some stories. But I think like somewhere, if you're really serious, I think there's somewhere between like 3 months and a year is a good period of time.
I don't know. I kind of think like their relationship with their family, their parents, all matters, right? Like if they're like very close and they're around each other all the time, like I think it's going to happen way sooner. I guess it just depends on like the introduction of it all, right? Like if it's like, this is my new boyfriend. Okay. Like if they're presenting you as like, this is the one and it's been a couple of days, like that's a different thing. Like I think you can meet people now, maybe just because I'm older now, but like I don't know that there is a right or wrong time just set out there. I think it depends on like the person, their relationship with everything, how close you are in proximity. Like they live nearby, then you're going to like, it's going to be more readily available and more of a possibility on that. But again, like, culturally it's going to vary dramatically.
Yeah. And I think it also depends on like most situation. Like he met the whole family all at once. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Were you trotting around like a little puppet? Here's my Mo. This is Mo. Let's go down the line. Let's meet my cousin, my uncle, my grandma, all that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Years ago, I dated a Persian girl, and her mom did not want to meet me because I'm white.
Nice,
and so we never did. She was like, "No, you're marrying an Arab. Like this is not like we're not doing this. Like he's white, he's not Muslim. Like we're not doing any of this.
He's Ben Affleck.
It's Ben Affleck. Yeah,
it's not happening.
Yeah,
that's when I learned the word. That's when I learned the word Sefid.
Oh,
because what?
That's Persian though, right?
Yeah. But Sefid is like means white, I guess. And so like the girl accidentally texts me instead of her friend one time. She's like, "Oh, I'm going out with that Sefid guy tonight. Blah blah blah, or the Sefid guy again tonight, or whatever." And I was like, "The fuck does Sefid mean?" And she starts laughing. She's like, "Oh, that was meant for my friend." Blah blah blah. She's like, "This just means white guy." I said, like, that's how we refer to white guys.
I'm texting my friend to confirm this.
Yeah,
I think Zach is right. It depends mostly on your relationship with the parents. So it's like if it's a big deal to you to introduce someone to your parents and you're putting pressure on it, then you probably should wait. If it's like
I just connected the dots. That was the girl that ambushed me.
I was gonna say.
It just clicked in my head. That was the girl.
Sefid.
Oh,
there's always more to the story somewhere along the way.
Yeah. Zach. If I just think about it long enough, right. Yeah.
But if you have a close relationship with your parents, like for example, my dad comes to trivia nights, so it's like it's not a plan for us to all hang out or get dinner or whatever. But I don't think it was the first time they met, but one of the first times they met, it's like my girlfriend and my dad were both at trivia night. And I'm obviously not facilitating the interaction. I'm just kind of watching it from a distance. So that's like a different way to do it.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
I would say like you can definitely do it too early. I would say if you pull the parent card, you're like, I want you to meet my parents and we're having dinner with them next week. And it's very important to me. You're putting a lot of pressure on the situation. If you have like a less pressurized relationship with your parents, it's like, oh, I normally have Sunday dinners with my parents once a month. Do you want to come? Then it's like, that's a more practical situation.
Like I was dating a girl and we ran into her dad at a restaurant. Right, like he just happened to be there. This girl I dated in college, like her dad was like this intimidating guy, but like he would like we were like the same height and everything. Like it was weird, and everyone was like so afraid of him. But like I was always just like,
this is energy.
I can beat this dude's ass. Like I'm not worried about this guy. Like this is. But he was like trying to. He was like because he was this like high powered like lawyer. Like he was very successful. Like they were fucking loaded, right? And he was very successful and he was very intense, but I never was like, oh no, Jim is mad at me or something like that. Like he would try these intimidation tactics. I was like, buddy, like you took me to Hawaii. Like I'm in. Like I don't like this. Is like I'm not worried about this.
You can't be that intimidating when you
paid
places.
for me to be in a helicopter over like Kauai at one point. Like that's like I'm not doing this.
What's the most intimidating dad thing?
My dad once told
you can do.
My dad once told somebody that they had to have me home by a certain time, or and reminded them that he has a gun, but he does not have a gun.
A gun bluff.
Yeah. But it wasn't even a date. It was his friend's son who like was nicely taking me out, so I didn't have to hang out with the old people. Have you guys ever had like a parent like meet you and not like you though? Because like usually. Parents love me.
Have you met Zach?
Zach has a list.
It'd be quicker to date the ones that like him.
Yeah, that did change once I got a career. That changed, but retail Zach? Oh,
Oakley
man.
Zach?
Oakley
that's probably
Zach?
not going too hot.
No, sir.
Hey, Johnny Rockets girl, you want me to meet
Moms
your dad?
love
Give him
me.
some
Dads did not.
Okay, I have confirmation that Seffi does mean white.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Just checking. I just checked with my friend to make sure that Seffi actually does mean white.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that it is, in fact, that is the correct interpretation. Just making sure.
This one time, so this is one of my dad's Hall of Fame moments. It's like the first month of being in the dorms in college, and it's my dad's first visit, and he made a very loud entrance into the dorms,
I'll buy that.
Where's my 40 and my bong at? Like walking down the hallway, yelling that shit at people.
Where the white women at?
Where the white women at? Where are all the legal gay men at? But my neighbor across the hall, my friend Takeo, he came in. He said, "Hi, Mr. Mays, I'm Takeo," and my dad slapped him across the face.
Oh shit!
And said, "Call me Walter."
Jesus.
Oh Walter is a
We gotta get Walter to the live show.
I might just be like, yo, I'm never talking to Maze again.
Fucking tall ass dude just came slapped me in the face and told me to call him by his first name. What the fuck?
And my dad said, that's so he'll always remember me. And guess what? It worked.
Yeah.
It was memorable.
What a power move.
See,
that's pretty intimidating.
The intimidating dad thing, the intimidating dad thing never bothered me much, but I was in a very serious relationship with a girl where her dad was very awkward and like made inappropriate jokes all the time. Like he was so sexually repressed and like such like this weird mama's boy and everything. Like it was just, and he was just, I was uncomfortable to be around him because he was so awkward. And he would like literally like make sex jokes in front of his daughter and in front of me. And I'm like, we were just like, what the fuck? And the whole family was like, yo, don't say stuff like that. But he couldn't like help himself. Like he was so weird. That was awful. I would rather a guy threaten me 1,000,000 times than be around that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
I would think that another effective way would just be to not acknowledge you.
Yeah.
Kind of give you the silent treatment or like the cold shoulder.
Yeah, I've definitely got
whatever,
that dad that like tried to like he would definitely do that at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would ask him a question or say something, and he just wouldn't respond. I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? This is so stupid.
The likelihood that the dad cares more and wouldn't be able to pull that off though is high. So
yeah, I mean that's eventually what what this guy did.
He was faking it.
Yeah.
You're faking it. Paul Bull asks, is a corn dog and a beef Wellington basically the same thing?
No, not at all.
Why not, Zach?
They're cooked differently. The textures are different. The chewing's different. Like a beef Wellington, I actually don't think like I've never really had a good beef Wellington. I don't know what it is. I don't love a beef Wellington, but I think a beef Wellington is like a meal. A corn dog is like a snack, right?
Well, a beef Wellington
depends on how big it is.
It's because it's hard to cook the steak and the puff pastry correctly at the same time.
But but also like puff pastries can get the fuck over themselves.
What?
They're
puff pastries
so
are amazing.
No, they're pretentious and they're trying to do too much. Just be a croissant, okay? Just be a croissant. That's what you want to be.
There's some really good Arab ones like burek and things like
Sure,
that I'm more
I'm
than
sure,
happy. I'm happy to live with.
They're pretentious.
Nah, not so much.
I know coming from me, it sounds pretentious because I literally just called myself a bougie asshole earlier. But like the
but that was so humble of you to do that. So
yeah, but not so much. But the beef Wellington, I'm with Zach on it, and it's never good. But they're not the same. Also, corn dogs come on a stick, right?
There's phrasing. I'm gonna go do radio, guys.
Deuces. That's enough corn dogs for Zach.
My Kobe doctor's supposed to call me, but he hasn't called me yet. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't get the Kobe surgery.
Oh, no.
I know.
What are you gonna do? You're not gonna be able to dunk again. What's gonna happen?
I'm just gonna have to do a layup like a regular person.
Boring. Can't even slap backboard anymore. Lame.
Or do a reverse layup like every single Korean I've ever seen in my entire life.
I like where Paul's going with this. Meat surrounded by starch, but yeah, a hot dog isn't a filet mignon. I'm sorry, Paul.
I'm also scarred a little bit because I got roped into a vegan Thanksgiving, and they did beef Wellington with mushrooms.
No,
and let me just tell you, that did not work one bit.
No,
it was awful. And we immediately went to In-N-Out wasn't open. It was McDonald's that we went to right after we left the house because I was like, "No, this." And we are never going back to that person's Thanksgiving.
Was it like a portobello mushroom at least?
No,
or was it
like
just a pile of mushrooms?
It was like they also like diced a whole bunch of mushrooms and everything. Like it was minced almost to that point. It was awful. And it was just that was one of those things where I was like, the situation in which it happened was we kind of were told like the family was vegan, but we could bring some meat options, and then we committed, and then at the last second it became a situation where like, no, we're deciding we're just gonna have all vegan stuff. You know, don't bring any meat, and we were just like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't even fake my way through that situation.
I had to, but it was
tested the extent of your bougie assholeness.
Oh boy. Then it was just, and then immediately when we walked out of the house, like, so In-N-Out.
Yep. So actual dinner.
Yeah. So like, can we go eat something with, that's good. So that was great.
Perfectly Good Wasted White Boy says, don't you think we should switch from AM to PM at 6 instead of 12? It makes no sense that we go straight from midnight to the first hour of morning. If we switch at 6 instead of 12, midnight becomes the actual middle of the night, and noon is the middle of the day, and morning actually starts in the morning at 6 a.m., right?
That's a lot. I'm content with the way it's set up. And then what are you going to do with people who do military time?
He's not even talking about he's talking about moving AM to PM, but it literally means before noon and afternoon, and noon is 12, and it's because at noon the sun was supposed to be the highest in the day. I'm sorry. I know that midnight doesn't feel like the middle of the night, but it is the middle of the night.
It is the middle of the night. And I also really did enjoy the conversation of when does noon begin last week?
Oh my God. When does it end? When does it begin? I don't know.
That was amazing.
That was a good one. I mean, that was classic Mailbag, where we got so twisted up in the parlance of our times that it shows you how meaningless it all is. And just like this, time is a construct. The only thing that matters is that everybody is on the same page. So if you change it,
everybody has to change
you're fucking everybody up, and you're not going to get uniform agreement. It's going to just confuse things even more, because then some people are on the perfectly good wasted white boy method, and then everybody else missed the memo, and then that old man in Zach's neighborhood is yelling at him because his dog is pooping in the PM, but Zach thinks it's the AM.
And we've had a hard enough time with time zones and trying to figure out
time zones, afternoon, this weekend, next weekend. It's hard.
We can't change it. We can't change it now. We can't change it.
And that's why I live my life a quarter mile at a time, Mo.
There you go.
It's the only way.
There you go.
It's all I can understand. Just a quarter mile at a time. Easy one for you from Tim. Waffles or French toast?
Ooh, I love French toast, but I'm probably going to go waffles.
Waffles are more consistent.
Yeah. French toast, you got to get the right bread. Whole thing's got to be able to get that crispiness that you kind of want. I hate a soggy sort of French toast. And
what do you feel like you usually get more weight-wise? Like, what is usually feels like a bigger portion?
Ooh, that's actually a good question. I actually think the French toast, because I think the bread soaks in so much of the mixture, the eggs and everything with it, that it kind of becomes a little more dense. And I think you generally get like just one waffle, whereas you can get like 3 or 4 slices of bread with that. But Jamie a few weeks ago made chocolate chip French toast, because the bread was the chocolate chip bread, and that shit was fire. I was like, damn. I said, you're really making it impossible for me to lose weight for this wedding.
Yeah, she's testing you. Mind games.
Bro, she made brownies last week, all gone. She made coffee cake this weekend, all gone. Like, it's like, and she gave some of it away, and I'm like, thank God, because I was going to eat about 4 of these a day.
Yeah, I'm sitting on, I just finished cake, I have brownies, and my friends brought me a pie that I haven't even touched yet. So
what kind of pie?
I've been loaded. It's a berry pie. I actually don't know what kind of berry. I feel like it's probably like a mixed berry, but they put a Walter Sobchak on this. I mean, it's pretty interesting. It's like, texting it to the group right now. It is a circular thing that looks like paper that they put on top of the pie, but it's made out of sugar. So it's edible.
Oh shit.
That's awesome.
But it's like a cake topper, right? So it's like you can print your picture onto this sugar thing. And I was like, is this paper? Should I remove this? Like, no, you can eat it. So I haven't gotten into that yet, but that was definitely a pretty hilarious highlight. But
it's almost too pretty to eat.
Exactly.
I got a tangent question for you though, Mace, just because I remembered it and I don't want to forget it. From Cinephobe. Amin referenced me in Cinephobe. Do I need to go back and see what this dude looks like? He said that one dude was me.
Super racist or whatever. Unnecessary.
Okay.
Do you want me to show you what he looks like? I can pull it up. Are you
sure?
Will that make it better or worse?
We'll find out. But every now and then, because like I haven't seen Conan in so long.
Yeah.
That I didn't. Obviously, this was a very nothing character that Amin was referencing. But I was like,
he doesn't even have a line. It's literally just a weird I don't even know. I guess it's a joke. Like they're going into this town market area and this guy is going by and he sees them coming and he clutches his pearls.
As a bougie mo would.
As a bougie mo would. Oh, this riffraff is coming into town.
Did you guys mention the movie Krull too? Because that movie is fire. I love that movie.
Liam Neeson, right?
Krull? Yeah, Krull was good.
Yeah, I thought about picking that for a Liam Neeson month. I don't know. These 80s sci-fi fantasy, they really hadn't figured this shit out yet. Here you go, Mo.
That looks like me. That's supposed to be me?
That's supposed to be you. That's what Amin called you.
Damn.
It's like DJ Khaled.
Nice.
I mean, it's on the one hand, it's nice that he's thinking of you, I guess, and mentioning you on the podcast. On the other hand, this is
I've gotten referenced on this podcast quite a bit.
Yeah, I like Moat Dakil the best. That was the best Mo reference.
Every time I hear one, I'm like, oop. I'm like, oh,
but yeah, I don't know, man. If it's a mean doing it,
it's dangerous. That's why I asked. It's dangerous. That's why I asked.
As your Middle Eastern compatriot, is it even worse? Is it even more offensive that he's like? Is it like now we're getting into internal country rivalries? That he's throwing shade your way this way?
Yeah, I don't think we're going that far, but like it's I don't know if it's worse. That's probably a good question. It's probably less racist.
Like when white people are racist against other white people, you know, what it's probably like an Irish versus Scottish thing.
Right.
Now you're like, we're neighbors and we really hate each other because we're close. But when it's a mean not knowing what two white people are different, then it's like, oh well, it's outside your race, so it's fine.
Well, yeah,
we're not expecting you to understand.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I was just curious because I was like, I didn't want to have to go.
No, I'm happy to facilitate that for you and show you that Amin does not know what the fuck he's talking about, as expected. So there you go. Yeah, back to waffles and French toast for a second. If you ever get French toast and there's 3 pieces of French toast on your plate instead of 4 or 6,
I'm pissed.
Kill someone. Because what the fuck? They're using like half a piece of bread on your French toast. They're cutting corners by using 1.5 pieces of bread as opposed to 2 pieces of bread. You need at least 2 pieces of bread for French toast or else you're getting ripped off. That's my final answer.
Yes.
And I think that is going to do it for us this week on the mailbag. Thank you to Zach, Emily, and Mo. Eden is out there traveling the world. I'm Anthony Mays, and we'll catch you next time.